Alright, that's looking pretty good. We could add a few more touches to this as well, just for kind of nice polish to add to the game. For instance, let's see. Let's add a skybox next, I think. That's kind of a nice touch. By default, you've got this sky-like color. It's kind of a blue when you see the horizon, but I'd really like to make it more cloud-like. So adding a skybox isn't too bad. First you have to find some skybox images. It's just a set of images which look like the sides of a sky rendered onto a cube. Again, you can do a Google image search. If you just look up skybox, that's absolutely not it. Skybox, one word, in a Google image search, and you can find all sorts of different things, right? And they're broken up into different pieces. So you can go ahead and download this anywhere you like. And once you find the set of 6 images which represent the sky, I'll show you how to set them up. Alright, so going back to my game. So I have a set of images which will work pretty nicely already downloaded. Just a set of 6 images right here. I'm going to go ahead and import them all into Unity. Remember, all I need to do is click and drag. So I'll grab these 6, put them in Unity. Hold on, says Unity. Alright. I need to make a new material which incorporates these. So I'm going to right click, create a material. I'll call it mat_skybox. To set up a skybox, right, you might notice there's only one place to drop an image. What I need to do is change the type of shader. Shader refers to how the graphics are displayed on the screen. So I'm going to change the shader from standard, see where it says skybox, go down that list to 6-sided. And suddenly we've got 6 places to drop images. So what I'm going to do is click and drag each one of these into the correct location. So skybox back, skybox down, skybox front. Notice I'm getting kind of a preview down here. That's kind of neat. Skybox left, skybox right, skybox up. Right, and if you've added these in the right arrangement, hey, they should look great. Right? You should actually see a nice sky-like image right here. And if something looks wrong, you can just click and drag on top of one of these to reassign something else. Skybox back. Alright. Once that's set up, in order to actually now apply this skybox material to your scene, you're going to go ahead and go to Window, and underneath Window where it says Lighting, Environment Lighting, it has a setting for skybox. The default skybox is kind of that gradient color right there. I'd like to click and drag Material Skybox on top of that, where it says Default. That just looks super cool. And go ahead and close that window. Alright, one thing now, I really want to make this ocean look like it's going to the horizon, so maybe I'll change the scale to 1000 by 1000. Right, so it looks like it's going all the way to the horizon. And I'll change the water material, not water texture, but water material, to tile maybe 100 times in each direction. Cool. And so now I can see ocean as far as the eye can see. One very subtle thing, which sometimes happens with skyboxes, not sure if you'll be able to see it on the video resolution, there's kind of a line or a seam in the skybox. We want to fix that. We want to remove that seam-like line. That comes from the way that textures are imported when you drag them into Unity. So by default, all textures are kind of set to repeat, which makes it easy to tessellate an image, like, for instance, like we did with the water. We wanted the water to repeat. But Skybox images should not repeat by default. So I'm going to select all the Skybox textures, click on the first one, hold down Shift, click on the last one, and then in the inspector, since they're all selected, I can change the properties of all the textures at once, change the wrap mode from repeat to clamp. Sometimes if you click over in the Unity window, it'll say, they're unapplied. Well, I really do want to apply them. Hold on. Great. And so that little image of that little line should be gone. Now if you play your game again, it just looks a little bit cooler. Right? A little bit of detail. It's a very bright horizon. Alright, we've got a happy little turtle. One thing which is missing is audio. So let's add a little bit of audio. Adding audio to a game is delightfully easy. So for instance, first I'll add some background music. Again, there's lots of great places you can download music if you like. The website incompetech.com. This is a great website for background music. If you're looking for more of sound effects, freesound.org is pretty good. Just Google in general. You can find whatever you like. So I've got two different sounds I'd like to play. One of them's a background music. One of them's a kind of a little, like a little water drop. Like I can't make the sound. But these two sounds I'd like to import into assets. So as usual, you just click and drag. These will get imported for you. Click and drag. You'll see a picture of the waveform. And in order to play music, it's actually pretty straightforward, which is really, really nice. So, for instance, to play background music, the easiest way to set this up is to actually take your background music, in this case ocean waves, for me, and I'm going to drag it onto the main camera. The main camera's got a lot of stuff attached to it, which makes settings very easy. So once you click and drag something onto the main camera, if you check out the inspector, there's all sorts of extra things that are here now. An audio listener is created for you, and an audio source, which stores the music file which is playing. So as soon as the camera activates, see how it says play on awake? As soon as the camera activates, we'll actually start to hear this sound. Well, this is more of the sound of ocean waves rather than music per se, but it gives it some kind of ambiance. So if I play, I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds very soothing and relaxing. Alright. Finally, I've got a sound effect that I'd like to play every time the turtle collects one of the objects. Right? It's good to give user feedback, so this will be kind of a little indicator. Once again, I'm going to go over to the turtle controller object. Right, this is going to be where all the code is written. The first thing I actually need to do is for the turtle, I need to add something which plays the sound. For a main camera, that was set up for us right away, but I actually need to set this up for the turtle. So click on Turtle, and in the inspector, go down to Add Component. This is an audio component. I want to add, let's see, this is going to be an audio source. It's kind of like a player. And this will play something for us. All right, I'm going to go over now back to my code. So click on my turtle controller code. Add a couple of lines here. I'm going to add, let's see, a public audio clip. Right, this stores the sound effect that I want to play. I'll call it collect sound. And it's public, so I'll be able to set this by clicking and dragging in the Unity editor. And then I also need to store a reference to the thing which plays the sound. I'll set that up automatically in the start method, and I'll make it private. Private audio source. I'll call it audio player. So I think of it as a player rather than anything else. All right. In order to set the value of audio player, I'm going to go to my start method. So I need to set this once at the beginning. So audio player, well, what I'm going to do is say this dot get component, and I'm going to insert the type of the component I'm looking for. So get component audio source. It's a method, so I also need the parentheses at the end. All right, so the audio player, this object will look for any attached audio source component and assign it to this variable. And that's great because I need this to be stored as a variable to do it later on. Alright, so I'm going to activate the audio player. Later on, when I collide with a starfish, if I get a starfish, I'll put this code right up here. So audio player, I want it to play the audio clip. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'd like to, potentially, your audio player might be playing more than one sound effect at a time. So there's a method called play one shot, which will play it. This is going to play the collect sound. This way I can use the audio player to potentially play more than one sound. Alright, so that should play the sound every time an object is collected. So I'll go ahead and save and give this a test. Oh, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work because I have not yet assigned the collect sound yet. Remember, it's a public variable which was not initialized. Go ahead to turtle and then drag the water drop sound effect next to collect sound in the inspector. Alright, now go ahead and play. I should hear a little sound. It's a little bit overpowered by the background music, the background sound effect. I can adjust that. So for instance, clicking on main camera, audio source, I can actually change the volume. So that's how you set up the sound effects. Kind of very basic stuff, but hey, this is a pretty good game for your very first Unity game. We've learned about all sorts of things. We've learned about importing textures, creating materials and meshes. I'm going to go ahead and sort these things. I'm putting all my textures into one folder. Looks a lot better. We're organizing up our project before we're done. I have an audio folder where I'll put these. And we've set up some prefabs, we've written some code, we've got a lot of nice little effects, we've got sound in a Skybox, so this looks great. Thank you for joining me, and good luck with all your future Unity projects.